Coming up on UCF Nightly News, some students are starting this semester having to evacuate their dorms due to severe weather conditions after just moving in last week.
UCF downtown campus hosts their first students. The new campus is leaving students wondering how to get around.
Plus, a hurricane is brewing and might affect your plans for Labor Day weekend. We have the latest updates.
And in sports, UCF football is back. Find out how the Knights are preparing for their upcoming season. UCF Nightly News starts now.
Good afternoon and welcome to the first UCF Nightly Newscast of 2019. I'm Paola Guzman.
And I'm Eddie Messel. Today is Friday, August 30th, 2019.
Students who live on campus are evacuating their dorms today despite moving just a week ago. With Hurricane Dorian heading straight for Florida, UCF has officially shut down campus starting today at 5 p.m. According to UCF, all students living on campus dorms must evacuate by 5 p.m. today. Many students began packing their things quickly with only a day to find a place to go. Out-of-state parents are panicking over where their children can find shelter off campus.
We didn't find out until around yesterday afternoon. I didn't even know that campus was closed until yesterday either, so it's a rough 24 hours to say the least. I don't have anywhere to go in Orlando, so I'm actually evacuating home to Tampa.
While UCF plans to resume normal activities on Tuesday, it is still uncertain at this time. Stay up to date by checking emergency.ucf.edu.
School is back in session, and what better way to welcome new students to campus than with a new campus? UCF's downtown campus opened Monday with new classrooms and facilities. UCF will bring 7,700 students to their new downtown campus. The campus features access to industry experts, internships, and diverse culturals. Students have high hopes for the opportunities this campus will bring them. Legal studies major Andres Sanchez likes how convenient it is to get from campus from his Metro West apartment.
Still the first week, so so far everything I've seen is been pretty easy. It's really organized, and people are really helpful too. So
construction of the downtown campus is expected to finish in mid to late September.
UCF's downtown campus brings over 8,000 students and faculty. UCF Parking and Transportation Services is offering downtown students a variety of options to get to and from campus. Shuttles from the main campus free Sunrail passes will be available to students, faculty, and state at the downtown campus. Downtown students have positive responses to the transportation options offered.
UCF is doing a great job with all the shuttles and the buses, and I just see free rides on buses, and I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. I might have to try that out.
The City of Orlando encourages downtown residents and visitors to plan their travel routes in advance to avoid delays from road closures and traffic.
Fall semester is here, but as of summer, the Lime bikes are not. Lime removed all 600 bikes over the summer semesters due to the conclusion of the company's contract with UCF. The Student Government Association is still providing students with the SGA bike share. Foot traffic is heavy and most bike racks are filled with personal bikes as the university has refrained from replacing the Lime bikes. They are currently deliberating on the safest alternative for students.
We've always had kind of an issue with not having enough bikes for the people that want them, and now that there's no Lime bikes, there's even more people that want to use the service we provide, and we have to often turn them down because we've already rented the bikes out.
SGA Bike and Gold, located in the Student Union, offers students bike rentals and personal bike repairs with a UCF ID. Students' bikes are repaired or replaced at the conclusion of every semester.
There will soon be some familiar faces in the student union. The UCF Police Department is opening a new community outreach center. Nightly News reporter Carolina Tessuto has more on what UCF PD hopes to accomplish with their new space.
Our students are safer and they're going to have a better experience.
The UCF Police Department is expanding their presence on campus starting this semester. UCF PD and SGA have been working to open the new Police Community Outreach Center. The new space will primarily be used to give the police department a greater presence in the heart of campus.
We're not there to do enforcement type work. Obviously, if we had to, we would, but that's not what we're there for. We're there to, like all the other organizations in the building, we're there to help. We're here to be open, accessible, and let's all work together as a partnership.
The Police Community Outreach Center has been in the works for several SGA administrations. The current SGA president and vice president hopes that this will create a better relationship between officers and students.
Maybe just making it to be a relationship where students feel comfortable to report things and that it's not this uncomfortable conversation each time.
Planning the new office began in the fall 2018 semester with the prior SGA administration, Josh and Jad.
We wanted to formulate an idea that we kind of had about centralizing the police department and the campus.
The Outreach Center will be staffed with 4 officers from UCF PD's Community Partnership Office. Events such as Coffee with the Cop and self-defense classes will move to the police department's new space. UCF PD hopes that with the new space, students will be more willing to go in and talk to an officer or request one to speak at a club event. In Orlando, Carolina Tessuto with UCF Nightly News.
The new Police Community Outreach Center is expected to open soon. Until then, students can go to the police department located on Libra Drive.
If you're parking at a UCF campus, your car must be nose in and plate out. UCF rolled out a new parking policy over the summer. No back-in or pull-through parking allowed on any UCF campus. Parking and Transportation Services says this new policy will help UCF eliminate any tangible permit and that license plates will now act as parking permits read by license plate readers, or LPRs. LPRs are cameras that quickly identify tag numbers. They are placed at every entry and exit point on campus. The readers also help UCF PD detect vehicles that have been deemed suspicious.
Now, what we have the ability to do is to search all cars entering and leaving campus and give it a time frame and pull up the license plates.
Says that these LPRs will help stop crime by flagging stolen or wanted vehicles. UCF PD will be looking for tag expirations or suspensions or altering for those with criminal investigative interest. Those who do not follow the policy may face warning or parking citations. You know, Paula, it's the first week of school and parking has been a mess.
Yes, it's been a mess, but you know who hasn't been having problems? The smart freshmen who have been getting early and using the shuttles. UCF welcomes their most accomplished freshman class yet. UCF data indicates first-year students will break university records for grade point averages in their fall classes. The freshman class holds an average high school GPA of 4.15, bumping up the average score from last year by 4 points. Incoming student Carrie Cersei says that she took advanced placement courses throughout high school to help her prepare for college.
When I applied to UCF, I thought about how my GPA was and what test scores I really needed to get into the school.
Engineering and computer science are the top choice majors of the 2023 class, bringing the total number of scholars to 3,300.
Carolina, we hear it's going to be a rainy weekend and a storm is hitting the area. What's the latest development?
You're right about that, Eddie, but before that, let's get to our statewide highs. Up in the north, Tallahassee and Jacksonville at 93 and 88 degrees respectively. Tampa and Orlando here in Central Florida will be 91 degrees in both cities. And down south in Miami, it'll be a very warm 88 degrees. Now for our statewide lows. Over in Tallahassee and Jacksonville, 74 and 75 respectively. Tampa at 75, here in Orlando at 77, and in Miami, it'll be, like I said before, a warm 81 degrees, so not very low temperatures. Now, let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. So it's going to rain the entire week, just like Eddie mentioned. On Saturday, it'll be a high of 90, low of 75, 50% chance of rain, just like Sunday. The only difference with that day is it'll be a low of 76 degrees. Now let's go to our Labor Day. So like Eddie mentioned, it's going to rain that day as well. Our highs will be at 88 degrees, lows of 76, and a 60% chance of rain. That's the day that we're going to start feeling some effects of Hurricane Dorian. Tuesday will be a high of 77, a low of 87, a low of 76, 60% chance of rain, and Wednesday it'll be a high of 88, low of 76, and a 70% chance of rain. Back to Eddie and Paola at the desk.
Coming up next on Nightly News, Saturday Night Live comedian Pete Davidson is making a controversial remarks Monday night.
Plus, UCF football is back. This means tailgate season is in full effect, but the university is cracking down this year. Coming up, what are the new tailgate rules for this upcoming tailgate season?
Stand-up comedy is supposed to be funny, but many UCF students didn't find the comedy show the least bit funny. Nightly News reporter Sarah Nagy has the story.
Like, don't you want adults to respect us? Don't you want your parents to, like, be proud of you?
Pete Davidson came to UCF for what was expected to be a comedy routine on Monday night. Instead, he yelled at the audience for being on their phones and made some hurtful remarks, according to students who were there.
I've seen him on SNL and stuff, and thought it would be fun to go see his stand-up routine, but it wasn't really much a routine at all.
Davidson said that this generation is why the world is going to end soon, and said that they were, quote, retarded.
I didn't mind him, but then he just became really rude, and I feel like there's no excuse to treat an audience the way he did. He wanted us to laugh at his jokes after, and no one really would.
Students then took the situation to Twitter to make light of the experience. One joking that Ariana Grande was at the VMAs, while her ex-fiancé Pete was, quote, yelling at college students. A lot of the tweets noted he made them feel uncomfortable.
Me and my friends were just really uncomfortable after a moment because it was going on for a really long time. He just kept reiterating his points, and we're okay. And nothing was funny after that.
Reporting in Orlando, Sarah Nagy, UCF Nightly News.
Pete Davidson attempted to make up for his rant by doing a Q&A after his show. Some of the students said they were still very upset by what he said.
This fall, UCF offers a new online graduate course that impacts the world of business. UCF offers the business of hip-hop innovation and entrepreneurship to graduate students for the first time. The 16-week course is given online for fall, spring, and summer A semesters. Dr. C. Keith Harrison, associate professor, says there is no I in team, but there is an I in win. Harrison thinks you should win your creative side and business ideas.
Hip-hop shows you how to not give up on any of your business dreams, and it shows you how to be creative.
Undergraduate students can take a similar class in the spring when enrollment opens. Harrison created the classes and will be teaching the fall course. Students are required to write on a napkin what they learned at the end of the term. The main focus is to engage the audience, find the data analytics of success, and the dynamics that align within hip-hop.
Tailgate of the season happening yesterday. Football is officially in full swing. But this fall semester, there are a couple of changes that are now in effect. Most of these new rules are for the students that are tailgate at Lake Claire, making sure students are having fun but still being safe. Although a lot of changes affect fraternities, all students must follow the rules. In efforts to keep students safe, speakers with long cords are no longer allowed, as well as no students allowed in the pavilions. Fraternities are also no longer allowed to hold any events inside their homes on Greek Park and will have to be in specific tent spots at Lake Claire.
We've changed to where students can't go on the pavilions anymore. It's mainly to protect them so the tables wouldn't break on them, and also to preserve our equipment as well. They also can't really get near the boathouse. They can't really get near the nature anymore. And that's mainly to protect the nature itself.
The pavilion will have now occupied by RWC staff, UCF PD, and other campus officials, making sure students are following the rules and staying safe. Coming up next on Nightly News.
UCF Knights had their season opening game Thursday night against FAMU. We have some game highlights after the break.
Plus, Hurricane Dorian is now a Category 4 storm. We have an update on how students are preparing for the hurricane.
As Dorian approaches, students are either preparing for the worst or are getting ready to head home. The first week of the 2019 fall semester started on a hectic note. Ron DeSantis declared a state of emergency on Thursday. UCF closed campus from today at 5 p.m. through Tuesday, September 2nd. Forensic science major Olivia Field says she's used to preparing for hurricanes.
Well, we always bought water and extra food ahead of time, and we'd always put shutters up, but we kind of knew that we could wait till the last minute to determine whether a hurricane was actually going to be bad or not.
As Dorian develops, here are some ways to stay safe and be prepared. Make sure to have water and non-perishable items. Put gas in your cars and always have a plan A and B. The Atlantic hurricane season officially ends November 30th.
Orlando is bracing for Hurricane Dorian, with many people preparing as it is now being said to hit as a Category 4. People in Central Florida are rushing to stock up on food, water, and emergency supplies. Shoppers are having difficulty finding cases of water. Many shelves at supermarkets are already empty due to the high demand of water. Officials are urging everyone across Florida to make safety precautions and be ready for any potential impact.
Hurricane season was in a slump for a while, but now it has woken up. Carolina, we hear there's a severe weather brewing that might ruin Labor Day weekend plans. What's the latest developments?
You're right about that, Eddie. Let's look at some tips to how to stay safe during the storm. During the storm, just make sure you have enough food and water, stay away from windows, and listen to authorities. Now, let's talk about after the storm, something most people don't think about. Exercise caution when driving or walking outside. You never know where that might be a downed power line, a puddle. Something really tragic could happen if you aren't careful. Stay out of dangerous buildings. Do not use generators inside that could cause some deadly carbon monoxide. And continue to stay tuned to wherever you get your news from. And that's the tips that we have for you right now, Knights. Let's toss it back to Paola and Eddie at the desk.
Coming up next on Nightly News, the UCF women's soccer team fought a tough battle against Ohio State on Wednesday. Tune in to see how the Knights played.
Good afternoon, Knights fans. I'm Caitlin Pickens. Let's dive into what's happening with UCF sports this week. The Knights had a rough couple of months leading into the 2019-2020 season. With last year's Heisman candidate quarterback Mackenzie Milton and backup Darryl Mack both injured, the race for QB1 blew wide open. Notre Dame transfer Brandon Wimbush looked like the clear favorite to win the job until true freshman Dylan Gabriel came out of left field. Head football coach Josh Heupel was asked numerous times throughout the summer who the starter was going to be, and college football fans were not given a clear answer until last week. After a tight race, Wimbush did win the QB1 job, but with an unexpected twist. Knights fans will be getting to see both Wimbush and Gabriel play at quarterback this year. UCF fans are pumped up after a big win last night over the FAMU Rattlers. They took care of Florida A&M 62-0 behind a great team effort. The Knights' defense was unstoppable. The D held FAMU to under 100 yards of total offense. FAMU only had one first down in the first half, but the win came at a cost. Star defensive player Brandon Moore was carted off the field with a serious injury. The extent of the injury is unclear at this time. Quarterback Brandon Wimbush wishes him a speedy recovery.
It's one of those things, man. It's a game of football. Just gotta keep prayers for him. Wish him the best.
The quarterbacks were the big story coming into the game, but the running backs played outstanding. They ran for 338 yards on 56 carries. The Knights look to continue their stellar play when they travel down to South Florida to take on Florida Atlantic next Saturday. UCF women's soccer faced off against Big Ten powerhouse Ohio State on Wednesday night. With almost an hour-long game delay due to lightning, the Knights were able to get on the board first. Forward and redshirt senior Jessica Taylor scores with 33 minutes left to go in the first half on an assist from sophomore Kirsten Scott. Ohio State answers back later in the first half with a goal from Marissa Burzin. After a scoreless second half, the game went into double overtime where both sides struggled to find the back of the net. The game ended in a tie with a 1-1 draw. Head coach Tiffany Sahayak says they are still a young team and she is proud of their progress. UCF is now 0-1-1 heading into an away game at George Mason on Sunday, September 1st at 1 p.m. That's all we have for today with sports. I'm Caitlin Pickens. Back to you, Paola and Eddie.
Thanks, Caitlin. It is crazy. We're really hoping that the Knights can continue the streak from last year, the whole undefeated thing, especially coming up against a big Week 3 game against Stanford. Hopefully they also stay unranked.
Yes, and that's all of our time for now. Thanks for joining us. Remember, you can always keep up with us during the week on our social media handles at UCF Nightly News.
And if you've got a story idea you want us to know about, send it our way. You can reach us at nightlynews@ucf.edu.